Okay, so I have already started with the discussions of modeling of switching converters. Okay, so that portion I have already discussed. That means I have started already. So introductory portion I have already discussed before that vacation. Okay, I think all of you gone through all those portions from Ericsson book. Okay, basically I am following the I am following the methods, that means from that Ericsson book. Okay, so I think all of you have gone through it, already gone through it, I think so. So again we can go for that next step, means in modeling chapter. Okay, so it having different subsections. Okay, so one subsection I have already completed, so I am coming to my next subsection. Okay, so in my previous subsection I just discussed about the importance of that, that means what is the basic importance for the modeling. Okay, so today again I am saying some of the few lines about it. So basically modeling we are doing for that, making the system, that means that I told already, that switching converter having nonlinearities. Okay, what kinds of nonlinearities you know about that? Basically switching nonlinearity. Okay, so there are additional nonlinearities are also there. That means basically it's a solid state device, so inherent nonlinearities are already there. Okay, but basically we are much more concerned about the switching nonlinearity. Okay, that's why when we are model that converter, basically modeling means mathematical approach. Okay, so how do I mathematically approach those converters? Okay, so that's why and that is decided by this modeling. Okay, so why this modeling is important? Basically, if you know the next chapter, so normally control design, basically in this block diagram you can see here. In this block diagram you can see it's a closed loop control of that converter. Okay, so that's why modeling means end of the day you have to end of the day you have to design the controller. Okay, so of the switching converter. So by how would you going to be design it? So definitely you have to use some standard method. Okay, so some standard method you have to use for doing the calculations of that modeling. After that you can only able to design the control structure. Okay, so that's the issue. That's why modeling is so important. So in my last class I have also discussed that different methods of modeling, means depends upon the sophisticacy, so different modeling also be there. So if I have some time, so I can also discuss any other additional methods for modeling like Filipov method, that is not included in Ericsson book. Okay, so basically it's a research oriented topic, so we can go for different modeling. Okay, basically that converter you are designing for machine drive, so in that case the modeling method and that converter you are going to be designed for that processor, means computer processor, both have the having different orientation. The both of the controller having different orientation. Basically the sophisticated applications. Okay, so depends upon your application, definitely the modeling calculation also been changed. Okay, so basically it's decided from your side, so where you are going to be where you are going to be apply your converters. Okay, so here from this block diagram you can understand that it's a diagram of a simple DC-DC regulator. Okay, what kinds of regulator? But it's a buck converter. You can see over there the basic structures. Okay, so input, output, so capacitor, inductor. So that is your switching converter. This portion is your switching converter. So load is there and source power input, means source is there. So energy that means power is transferring from source side to load side. Okay, so here you can see the feedback connections. Okay, so feedback connections is still there. So that means you are fetching or you are sensing the term of actual technical term is sensing. Okay, so here you are sensing the output voltage. Okay, So that output voltage plus minus you can observe over here. Okay, so that voltage you are sensing over here. So then after that you are comparing that voltage, and finally you will get over there it's a minus. So actual one it is coming from minus, sorry, measured one it is coming on minus, and it's a negative feedback. Okay, you are getting, I think so. So it's not a positive feedback, it's a negative feedback. That's why the actual sensing voltage is coming to the negative terminal of your differential amplifier. So what is the example of a differential? That means normal op-amp circuit. Okay, so like TL084. Okay, TL084 having four compatible, means four op-amp circuit. Okay, so negative feedback means you can make as per the configuration. It having, I think, TL084. So individual op-amp having three leg. Okay, so 4 means 12 legs are there, so maybe 16. Okay, one is VCC, one is for ground. Okay, so 14 pin I can observe. Okay, so maybe more than 14 also there, so I need to check it from the data sheet. Okay, so here you can see that differential amplifier. So after that you will get some of the error, so then that error will be passing through the control compensator block. So that is your GC, means transfer function of the controller or the compensator. But how do you get the transfer function if you don't know the actual modeling of that controller? Okay, so you cannot select that grain crossover frequency or the phase margin. Okay, so basically control or if you go for the transient response. Okay, two type of you can see over there the method. One is time domain calculation, another one is frequency domain analysis. Okay, so in time domain analysis, so you have to focus about your rise time, okay, settling time, all those things you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so how fast you are, how your converter providing the fast response. Okay, that will be decided and selected by your side. Okay, so basically if you do that modeling of the converter, then after that you can design that compensator. Means it's a LTI system. If you can see it's a GCS, means it's a time, it's a frequency, means after transforming from to the Laplace domain, you are getting that transfer function. Okay, so transfer function is the linearized condition. So how do you get the transfer function? Definitely you have to convert your switching converter circuit to the LTI system. Okay, means linear time invariant system. Okay, after that you can able to design that transfer function by using step. Different methods are there, like step. If you provide that response, and that means step response, then you can check your means closed loop, feedback loop are there. So one plant is there, means converter plant. Before that converter plant, you can provide that control transfer function. Okay, so now you can give step input and there is a negative feedback. Okay, so how your response is showing. Okay, so how much fluctuations is there. So basically from that way you can design your controller. Okay, so basic structure, basic reference is required. So definitely you can use some Ziegler-Nichols method. Okay, so different ideas are there. Okay, how to design that controller. Okay, that will be coming to my future lecture. Okay, so it will be there in our syllabus, so I can discuss this about that. Okay, so compensator is there. So after the compensator, so you will get some control signals. So that small variations is there. Okay, that is your control signal. So error signal means how it should be the nearer to the zero. Okay, both should be nearer to the same. Actual and measured. Measured and actual, or measured and actual are same, and it is your reference one. Okay, so if both are nearer to the same, so definitely error signal should be nearer to the zero. Okay, so you will get some of the constant, like constant value. Okay, after compensating, the purpose of the compensating is how much error is there, that portion, that amount of value you have to be again compensated. Okay, so make it negligible, nearer to the zero. Okay, so that portion you can observe. Okay, so it is a controller block. Then you can compare. So pulse width modulator is there, means after that again one comparator is there. Comparator is there means you are comparing the comparing your control signal, okay, with your repeating signal. That may be the triangular one. Okay, because basically it is voltage control method. Okay, so only voltage, one loop is there, outer loop is there. If it is current control method, so then what happen, instead of repeating signal, you have to you have to sense, okay, you have to sense, you have to sense the current, okay, what kinds of current? Inductor current over there, okay, you have to sense the inductor current. That current will coming to the here. That current means, you know the structure of the inductor currents. Sometimes it is rise up, then rise down, again rise up, again rise down. So like that structure, okay, so that means it is nearer to the repeating sequence. Okay, so voltage mode control having it not providing you the so very fast response, okay, but current mode control, if you add with them, so definitely, so you'll get very fast response. So in current mode control means outer loop is voltage mode control, inner loop is your current mode control. Okay, sorry, if outer loop is your sensing the voltage, inner loop you are sensing the current. Okay, in these portions, okay, in voltage mode control you are not sensing the current, inductor current, okay, you are providing one repeating sequence from your function generator, okay, and compare with your control signal. So after that, comparing with your triangle and the VC, definitely you will get some pulse, okay, so that pulse is there. So on time pulse is DTS, okay, then off time pulse is TS, total time switching time period is TS. So off time pulse is TS minus DTS, okay, and it is your modulating signal amplitude, okay. So it depends as per your calculations, okay. After that, I told you that one gate driver circuit is required, okay. So in case of MOSFET driving, so after that you have to here you are directly fetching your output voltage from there, so there is no such isolations, okay. Basically power circuit, so in power electronics converter, two circuits is in most important. One is called power circuit, that the upper one, and lower one is called that control circuit, okay. So the power level, okay, power level of power circuit and control circuit totally different, okay. So in power circuit, the power level maybe goes up to maybe go up to megawatt range, okay. So it may be there, okay, but in control circuit, so normally that voltage level is in standard maximum 15 volt, okay. So how do you isolate them? So normally in this path, even it is low cost converter, that's what the directly voltage is sensing over there. So in this path, feedback connections, so normally we are using voltage transducer, okay, LV25P, okay. It's a LEMX transducer. Voltage transducer means definitely if you provide that potential across there, so it is Hall effect sensor, okay. So I think all of you know about that term, that Hall effect sensor. So after that, what happens? So you are getting some equivalent voltage, okay, stepping down of equivalent voltage, okay. So then you can calculate all of them, and after that, when you are again connected to your power circuit to the driver, so there again one isolation is required. So you are using some opto isolator, okay, after your PWM. So you are feeding your PWM to a opto isolator, okay. You can say like that MCT2E. MCT2E means it's an opto isolator, means optical diode is there, okay. So if the current is flowing over there, if the PWM is flowing, means there means the current is flowing over there, okay. So it will be one LED type diode will be there, okay. So it will be means already fabricated in the IC, okay. So then when the current will be there, so it will get output voltage, okay. So again inversion will be there, so opto isolator means inversion will be there, okay. So you will get that PWM, it will be inverted, so the opto isolator. Again you will feedback, again you will feed it to a 555 timer, okay. So 555 timer will be there. After that, one resistance, basically 555 timer is working here as a buffer circuit, okay. So after that you can feed the MOSFET resistance path, high resistance path, okay. So as per your specification, you can select that values of that input resistance, okay. So otherwise what happen, if you provide that signal having good strength of current, then your gate may be damaged, okay. Basically it's a voltage control device, or you know that basically it's a MOSFET, okay. So it's a voltage control device, so that's why you have to make that additional resistance in the path over here, okay. So you know that driver, that is called the driver circuit, okay. In control system, you can say like that it's an actuator circuit, okay. So one is controller, that portion is called that controller, and after that portion, that is called actuator. Actuator means that is actually working on that devices, like your if you see your human not philosophy, it is physiology. Okay, so one sensor is sensing your skin. Okay, that is coming to the brain. Again, that signal is sending from the brain to the muscles. Okay, so through the neuron to the muscles. Okay, so that muscle is your actuator. Okay, so signal is coming from the brain. So who is your control unit, processing unit? That is your brain is your control unit or the process unit. Okay, so then it will send that signal to the actuator. So in our body, so muscles are there. Okay, so neuron is brain is sending the signal to the neuron, through the neuron to the muscle. So please remove your hand or please remove your leg. Okay, so is there in front the eye, is there in for sensing the signal, is there any kinds of obstacles are there or not? So that will be decided by whom? That will be decided by the brain. Okay, so brain is your control unit or the process unit. Okay, and actuator is different muscles of your body. Okay, so here that actuator also be there. So that portion is control. Okay, and that actually what done did by that control signal, that is your actuator. So driver circuit is your actuator. Okay, after that, so if it is BJT, then the current strength will be high. Okay, in that case, you have to use some Darlington method or the totem pole method for amplifying the current level. Okay, if you again you are using Darlington or totem pole method, so I know the structure of the Darlington and totem pole. I have already discussed in my previous classes. Okay, so in that case, again some inversion is there. Okay, so you have to keep in your mind that inversion of that PWM signal. So it should be the same in phase with your initially generated PWM. So after that sending to the any of the driver, so it will be inverted. Okay, so again you have to invert that signal, and finally it should be in phase with your practical one. But there should be optical isolation like that. Okay, so current state may be different, but actual PWM will be like that one. Okay, so then it can be sent to the switches or the solid state switches of the converter. Okay, so I think all of you are able to understand what I am going to be discussed over here. So what is the objective here? That maintain that VT. Okay, what is your VT? That output voltage. VT equal to the accurate constant value of V. Accurate constant value of V means it is a reference value, Vref, you can say like that. So if it is more nearer to the V reference, that measured V is more nearer to the reference, so you can say like that your converter is perfectly working on it. Okay, so steady state error, there is no steady state error. Okay, if it is not perfectly working, so definitely there will be the scope for the steady state error. Okay, so there are disturbances like that, input disturbances and output side disturbances. Input disturbance means VG. Here that VG you can see some of the disturbances. So how do you check the efficacy of your converter? So you have to put some of the disturbances. The disturbances are different positions are there. So input side disturbances are there. Okay, in that I have already told you line regulations. Okay, I given some of the definitions in my initial classes about that line regulations, then load regulation, temperature regulations. Okay, so normally we are checking that input side disturbance, that is VG, VG side difference. Another one is R, means if your load resistance is suddenly increase or decrease. Okay, so end of the day you have to maintain that input power equal to output power. If your load resistance is increased, means it will take much more current. The load is drawing high current. Okay, compared to the normal configuration. Okay, so it is drawing more current from your system. So how do you maintain that power? So current is increasing means voltage should be dipping. Okay, and finally it should go to the steady state value. Okay, means reference value. Okay, so how much time is taken, that will be decided by the controller. So controller is normally deciding the the transient performance. Okay, and the and the topology of the converter, okay, will decide the steady state performance. Okay, so which converter giving you more, which converter giving you less steady state error. Okay, that will be means what kinds of steady state error. So less current ripple. Okay, that will be decided by the topology of the converter. So in boost converter, you having more current ripple compared to your internally boost converter. So internally boost converter and boost converter, the working phenomena is more or less same. Okay, means output boosting up that voltage. Okay, input voltage you are going to be boosting up. The purpose of the converter is same, both of the cases, interleave boost and boost converter, but the topology is different in interleave boost converter. So if you changing the topology, then what happen in boost converter? You can see the inductor current ripple is more. Means you can say like that input current ripple is more compared to your interleave boost converter. Okay, because of what you are changing the topology, means advanced converter you are using. So definitely the ripple configuration is different. Okay, so in that case you can pick that interleave boost converter compared to your normal conventional boost converter in some applications. Okay, so that's the issue for selecting the different topology of the converter. And selection of controller means you can see the transient response. Okay, means which configuration, which controller gives you the better response. Okay, so that is important. Another thing that will be decided by the load regulation, line regulation. Sometimes we are also giving some of the disturbance over here, means that portion error signal is there, na? Some error is generated, so additional small signal you can add over here. So check that is your output voltage is fixed or not there. So the robustness of the controller you are also checking. So how do you checking the robustness of the controller? Some of the disturbance you can put over here. Okay, that is number one condition. Another condition, you are increasing the percentage of inductor value. Okay, and the capacitor value. Okay, so how much percent you are increasing? Feasibility is different issue. Okay, means practically one converter is running, suddenly you are changing the inductor. So how is it possible? To practically it is quite different, means quite difficult to realize the problem. But here we are discussing about the modeling of the converter. Means modeling means now converter is totally converted to the mathematical modeling. Okay, we already converted to the mathematical structure. So in mathematically it is feasible. Okay, for what you are doing, basically when you are designing that controller, so normally the designing process of the controller, it will be done in the pen paper, na? Means you are simulating, then pen paper, then you can go for the simulations. Okay, so basically that portion will be taken care, basically that portion will be discussed through the mathematical point of view. Okay, so it is mathematically possible, the suddenly changing the inductor value and capacitor value. So the mathematical, practical issue is different. So here you are checking the robustness of your means controller, how much variations it can be tolerated by the controller. So maybe you are checking up to plus minus 40% of inductor and the capacitor, and checking that how much voltage deviations is there. Okay, with your reference value. Okay, that may be studied again for the checking the robustness and the sensitivity of that controller. Okay, so what are the uncertainties? Okay, so disturbance, you can see that input side, output side, that is there. Okay, these two are the disturbance. So now what are the uncertainties in element value? Okay, that I am telling you, that uncertainty and the robustness value. So suddenly that inductor value, capacitor value is changing. Okay, element values are there. So different elements are there, inductor, capacitor, resistance. Okay, so that resistance is there, and Vg. Okay, so all are called uncertainty, but in disturbance additional things are there, so that is related to your input voltage and output resistance. Okay, I think all of you are able to understand the purpose of this controller. Then application of control in different power electronics converters. So what are the different converters are there? First one, DC-DC converter. So your agenda is that to regulate the DC output voltage. Okay, so fixed DC output voltage. Okay, so control the duty cycle, because how to make it fixed? So definitely control the duty cycle. If your voltage is high, okay, so definitely I am telling you that if you increase the value of R, means load is increasing, means suddenly current will be increasing. So what happened? Current is increasing means voltage will be deep, because of what? Maintaining the fixed power. So voltage dipping is there. Okay, so then what happened? That actual voltage is less than your reference voltage, so error will be more. Okay, error will be more means what? That compensated value will be normally more than your normal condition. So PWM with, okay, so VC is higher. Okay, it is going to be high. Okay, so definitely going to be high means what? So that PWM will also be changed. Okay, so that width will be changed in such a manner, so definitely that voltage should be fixed. So width may be inverted one, so with maybe less. Okay, with maybe less means off time will be high in that case converter. So automatically off time high means current will be reduced and voltage will be increased. That's the convention. So control of the duty cycle such that VT accurately follow the reference signal. Okay, so the tracking performance, that is called the tracking performance. Okay, then DC-AC inverter. In inverter, what happened? The regulate an AC output voltage. Your output voltage of AC should be controlled. Okay. So control of duty cycle such that the VT accurately follow the reference signal V reference. Okay. So all the cases the convention is same. Okay. So that is called PR control. Okay. So okay. So in AC/DC rectifier, okay, regulate the DC output voltage. Okay, input is AC, output is DC. So output voltage should be regulated. So DC voltage should be maintained fixed. So regulate the AC input current waveform. So you have to regulate the input current. The control the DC cycle DT such that IG means input current accurately follow the reference signal I reference. Okay, and VT is accurately follow the reference signal VREF. Okay, so IG is your input current. Okay, that should be the maintained by your reference current. Okay, if you giving in current mode control. Okay, so that should follow the current reference. Okay, and your voltage mode control, that output voltage, that means actual voltage VT. Okay, that should be follow your reference voltage, that is your VREF. Okay, that's the basic process. Okay, different regulations of the closed loop control of the converter. Okay, so modeling is your what? Modeling is your physical behavior. Okay, representation of your physical behavior by mathematical means mathematical mode. Okay, model dominant behavior of the system. Okay, model dominant behavior of the system, ignore others insignificant phenomena. Okay, so in that case what happens? So behavior of the system, you can say like that, means ignore other insignificant phenomena means you are doing the modeling process is totally in your hand. Okay, so which parameters you are going to be considered and which are you are not considered. Okay, that will be totally solely depends upon your prerequisite of the modeling, mathematical modeling process. Okay, so that will be totally decided by yourself, which parameters you are going to be follow when it's considered and which not. Okay, so it depends upon you. So that's why it is written that you can sometimes you can ignore some of the points, means non-linear modeling, linear modeling. Okay, so in non-linear modeling, that constant of that means considerations of your parameter may be different. Okay, which parameter you are going to be considered, that is different. Okay, means more than linear modeling method. Okay, so simplified model yet the physical insight. Okay, for allowing engineering to design the system to operate the specified manner. Okay, so approximations neglect the small but competing the phenomena. Okay, so approximation will be there. Okay, so after that we are using perturbation method, because that without approximation we cannot go for that. So previous slide I have discussed about some there was considerations of that ripple you can neglected over there, and finally you are using some of the DC value, na? So that approximation will be there. Okay, after the basic insight has been gained, again the model can be refined. Okay, so if it is judged or worthwhile to explain the engineering effort to do to the account for the some previous neglected phenomenon. Okay, so sometimes it totally depends upon you. Okay, so which phenomena you are going to be considered and not. So normally we are using average model. Okay, so in average model, then discrete time model, then we can go state phase averaging model, then we can also go something Philippa method. So different cases, the transitions. Okay, transitions means on time to off time, the switching on to switching off. So there are the transitions, no? So changing, if you realize the converter in your if you realize the converter, you can see, okay, there is some roots are there, sorry, some roots are there, that roots sometimes called as a pole and zeros as per their presence to the converter plant transfer function. Okay, so if roots are in denominator, so and that is called poles, and roots are in that numerator, so you can say it's a 0. Okay, so end of the day, that converter is sum of the collections of your poles and 0. Okay, so changing of that state means on state to off state. So definitely the locations of the roots may be changed, the transitions. Okay, so how sophisticatedly you can design the transitions. Okay, the changing of that roots, okay, from on time to off time, that may change the dynamics of the converter. Okay, so which kinds of studies you are going to be performed, that also important. Like your, if you are going to be performed for the nonlinear dynamics, maybe chaos study. So directly you can say that due to the transitions, the converter dynamics is totally changing. Okay, so that is another dimension of that research. Okay, so as per that telling you, na, there some lines are there that is telling you. So the sophisticacy or the prerequisite, okay, that you are considering for the modeling, that is more important. Okay, so which is that convention you are going to be followed. Okay, so neglecting the switching ripples, so that portion I have already discussed, okay, in my previous slide. So switching ripples, you have considered the ripple value is very less, so you can say like that constant value. So here you can see that actual waveform including the ripples, actual waveform of VT means output voltage. So it will be, if you simulate that model to your home or to your laptop, so you can see that there will be that voltage level, you can see like that ripple will be there, but actually you are averaged it that Vt up to Ts. Okay, so it is average, mean value is there. Okay, that's why it is written like that within the less than and greater than symbol, and Ts is there. Okay, so finally it is there. Okay, so finally you will get some of the constant value. Okay, that is your approximation. Okay, so totally dt is your, it is varying, time varying component, so total d plus dm cos omega t. So as per the convention. Okay, so supply duty cycle, it you can say like that expression of the duty cycle, where d and dm are the constants. Okay, and mod of dm less than of your d. Okay, and the modulation frequency omega m is much smaller than the converter switching frequency omega s equal to 2 pi fs. Okay, so here you can see it's your gate driver, gate drivers are there. Okay, it is your time. Okay, time is changing, so you can say like that gate drivers, that widths. Okay, so width are also changing. Okay, so you can see over that the width are different all the cases. So as per your PWM signal, okay, so reference signal and repeating sequence, so switching frequency is same. Okay, repeating sequence frequency is decided the frequency of your switch. Okay, so there will be no changes in the repeating sequence. Okay, that is fixed, but changing of what, the changing of your control signal, that one, changing of your control signal. Okay, so that changing of your control signal, that vary. Okay, that maybe come up and sorry, come down, maybe come up. Okay, so changing like that. So if it's changing, so that width of that on time will be changed. If width of the on time will be more, means off time will be less. Okay, basically TS is fixed, that you need to be averaged over the switching time period. Okay, that's the motivations. Okay, so the resulting the variation of the transistor gate drive signal and the converter output voltage. Okay, both you can observe over here. Okay, so output voltage spectrum, okay, with sinusoidal modulation of duty cycle. Okay, so if you go for that spectrum analysis, means FFT analysis, you can go first Fourier transformation. So you can see that modulation frequency and its harmonics. Okay, so what type of harmonics are there? So different harmonics are there, integral harmonics. Okay, so odd harmonic, even harmonic, integral harmonic, or that integer harmonic. Okay, so multiplications. Okay, so you have to pick only the switching frequency sideband, means you have to consider only that only the frequency related to your switching frequency, and less or greater than frequency of your switching frequency, you should be neglect, or you should be omit of your system. So filter design. Okay, so which frequency you are going to be pick. Okay, that is important. So that switching harmonics, okay, means it will be multiplication of your omega s. Okay, So it may be odd multiplication, maybe even multiplication. Okay, as per your convention, sometimes odd, even events are maybe means neglected of your system. Automatically, it will be omitted from your system, but odds are there. Okay, odd harmonics. So you have to pick that only the individual means fundamental switching harmonics. It means switching frequency. You have to pick it. Okay, so that is important, basically the spectrum, that's why it is given. So what the content, the frequency component is your modulating frequency and is harmonic. So in inverter, okay, so two frequencies are there, one is called carrier frequency, another one is your modulating frequency. So modulating frequency is equal frequency of your power frequency. Power frequency means in inverter you are giving some in your domestic purpose, you are using in Indian domestic purpose, so 50 hertz. Okay, so input frequency or power frequency is 50 hertz. Okay, so your, as per the convention, the modulating frequency should be like that, nearer to your similar to your power frequency, means 50 hertz. Okay, and the carrier frequency may be 10 times or maybe 100 times. Okay, sorry, maybe 100 times or 1000 times more than of your modulating frequency. Normally what happens, we are considering 100 times. Okay, so 50 hertz if is your power frequency or modulating frequency, so carrier frequency will be 100 times of your modulating frequency. So how much value will be there? So 5 kilohertz, like that. Okay, that's why it is your modulating frequency. Okay, that frequency of modulating frequency and the frequency of your, it's angular frequency. Okay, so it is your carrier frequency, or you can say like that, that carrier frequency deciding the switching frequency. Okay, so if you choosing that carrier frequency at 5 kilohertz, so that is similar to your switching frequency of the inverter. Okay, so it is modulating frequency and is harmonic, so that harmonics bands are there. So fundamental one, that fundamental one means the modulating frequency is your fundamental one and rest of the harmonics. Okay, that will be there, so you have to remove all those things. The switching frequency and is harmonics. Okay, here you can see that switching frequency, it is more compared to your other frequency. Okay, so definitely harmonic frequency magnitude is less. Okay, the side bands of the switching frequency, so multiplications of that one. Okay, of the switching frequency with here you can see with the small switching ripple, the high frequency component switching harmonics and side bands are small. Okay, basically the small switching ripple is more means definitely harmonics will be more, that's why that approximation is important. Okay, if the ripple is neglected, then only low frequency component or the modulating frequency and harmonics are remain fixed. Okay, so ripple is neglecting means, so in case of chaos theory, you can say like that, for low frequency oscillations you can observe over here, so that may be related to your border collision bifurcation. Okay, so that is different issue, it's related to the converter dynamics. So from that study you can understand that low frequency if neglected means frequency component modulations index means only the low frequency component or the modulation frequency and this harmonics is present. Okay, that you can omit easily. Okay, so objectives means what are the AC converter modeling. So what the predict that how low frequency variations in duty cycle insert the low frequency variation in the converter voltage and current. Okay, so you have to anyhow you have to neglect the ripples. Okay, so how do you neglect the ripples, that is more important. Okay, ignore the switching ripples. Okay, ignore the complicate the switching harmonics and side bands. Okay, that is conventional approach. Basically you are neglecting that ripples. Okay, that's why it is like that way. Okay, remove the switching harmonics by averaging all the waveforms over one switching period. Okay, so switching harmonics you have to remove. How to remove it? So you can go for that averaging, means you are totally neglecting, okay, that ripple functions. Okay, that in duty cycle, or you can say like that in output voltage the ripple component you are totally omit. Okay, so how do you omit it? So definitely filter. Okay, if you passing that inverter output, okay, is AC, so if you pass that AC Okay, so through the filter, okay, that means developed AC through the filter, you will get the perfectly okay sinusoidal one. So that ripple component is omitted by the filter. So average value we are getting. So in that case, the switching harmonics also been neglected. Okay. So averaging to remove the switching ripples. Okay, now we are going for that averaging method. So two components in my last week discussed about that state variables. Okay, in this study, what are the state variables? One you can say like that inductor current. Oh sorry, inductor current and the capacitor voltage. Okay, two components are there as like a state variables. Okay, so state variables means you have to average those state variables. Okay, if you are able to get mathematically modeling means you are considering that state phase modeling na? So you are considering that value, so automatically it will be automatically if that ripples are coming out, so it will be neglected, so automatically if the if your AC component, if the AC component of your state variables are not present, okay, the AC component or ripple component is not present of your state variable, so automatically that portion is be you are getting the rippleless output voltage, okay, or the rippleless that duty component. Okay, that's the motivation. So you have to average over one switching period to remove the switching ripple. Okay, so ripple you have to remove. So it's normal, you can say like that averaging, you are doing that averaging through the cycle. Okay, so you are getting how much value, that VL. Okay, so state variable is changing in nature, that's why you are only averaging that inductor current. Here similarly inductor voltage you are going to be average over the time period, means switching time period, that is TS. So you are getting the switch in the IC means capacitor current, it is TS. So where XLTS, okay, so it is here 1 by TS to XT tau. Okay, the state transition matrix actually. Okay, so T plus TS. Okay, so now that in average condition, so the steady state condition, okay, so it is that average value will be same. Okay, so in steady state condition it is constant value, so that average value will be 0. Okay, basically how much positive or negative, both are same, so average value will be 0 for both inductor voltage and capacitor current by inductor volt second balance and the capacitor charge balance. Okay, that method you can use over here. Okay, for making it. Okay, the nonlinear average equations. Okay, in nonlinear equation what you have to do, the average voltage and current are in general nonlinear function over the converter duty cycle. Okay, so in converter duty cycle you know the time variant component. Okay, so time variant component is cost value is there na, so it is time variant component. Okay, so due to the presence of the time variant component it is non-linear one. Okay, so you have to average all those things, that duty cycle, voltage and current, okay, to throughout the cycle, so that may decide you that that all are the non-linear function. Okay, so hence that average equations. Okay, so similarly, so you have to average that state equations. Okay, the state variable, so that are the state variables. Okay, constitute a system the non-linear differential equation. Okay, so time dependent, so in independent and dependent equations in so different methods are there. Okay, what are the different types of differential equation that you have that you studied in your BTech, maybe first year, second year, maybe that classes, maybe first semester, maybe second semester you read this topic, means what are the different fundamental different types of differential equation. So it's an example of a non-linear differential equation. Basically it's a dependent values are there, must linearize by constructing the small signal converter modeling. So you have to go for the small signal converter modeling for omit, okay, or making that system in linearized model. Okay, so here you can see I'm taking the structure of the buck boost converter with the non-linear static control output characteristics. So at 0.5, so you know that expression of buck boost converter d by 1 minus d. So at 0.5 you can see that its output will be minus Vg. Okay, so at 0.5 you are getting some quiescent operating point. Okay, quiescent operating if you over that one, okay, so that portion only the linear function. Okay, then actual nonlinear function you can go over there. Okay, so only this portion you are getting it linear one, so that covered by the slope. Okay, so actual nonlinear characteristic here you can say why it is called nonlinear, that if the duty is increasing but voltage is duty increasing, if you see, if you project that value, okay, so the rate of change of duty, okay, and the rate of change of your output voltage is ratio is different. Okay, and in linear condition you say like that Ohm's law, okay, like that. So rate of change of voltage, okay, and the rate of change of voltage, okay, and the ratio of rate of change of voltage and the ratio of rate of change of duty, okay, if it is fixed, that value is constant throughout the zone, okay, that you can say it's a linear zone. When it is varying, okay, so you can say like that it is beyond the linear zone, means it is non-linear zone. Okay, only here you can observe zero 0.5, value of d is 0.5, you are getting that value, so it is the linearization of coefficient operating point, it is duty equal to 0.5. Okay, that only the linear zone of operations. Okay, so defined structures are there. In my next class I'll discuss about that rest of the portion of this buck boost converter. Okay, so where we can started with our next theory about on it. So basically time is